Hello, my name is Tanasia Johnson, and I just want to go over a couple of student affairs, employee rights, and things that need to be considered when being a student affairs professional. The first thing that I do want to go over is the students' rights. There are many rights that students do have. And as a student affairs professional, it's important that we make students aware of these rights. One of the rights is the right to learn. Every student does have the right to learn. Therefore, many programs and public education is offered, as well as college tuitions and resources in order for students to gain access to higher education. Another right that students have is a right to a qualified teacher. Teachers should be licensed, and teachers should be able to give information that will allow students to gain new knowledge, as well as teachers should be constantly trying to better themselves so that they're better educators. Another right that students do have, they have a right to be seen, they have a right to receive support. They also have a right to be treated with kindness and to be treated as an individual without them feeling as though they cannot express themselves. So, as students in 2021, you're able to be who you are and not be judged for that, and not your rights not be taken away because of what you choose as far as expressing yourself. Another big right, I feel, is the right to fair assessment. Many assessments for many years have appeared to be not necessarily on everybody's page. So some students do well with standardized tests, some students do well with a hands-on test. So it's really important that students are given the right to fair assessment so that their teachers are able to assess them in ways to find out what their knowledge, if their knowledge is actually being built upon. Some relationships, legal relationships with students and other students. Many students should know that there are lots of legalities when it comes to being around others and how we interact with others, especially in higher education. Some legalities to definitely consider as a student is bullying. Students should not be bullied, whether that's in person or whether that is through cyberbullying. Some other legalities include sexual harassment, sexual assault, hazing. Hazing is a big legal relationship that students have with other students on many of our higher education campuses. This is something that is unacceptable, to be punishing people for really no reason. So that's something else that students should consider when they're considering legal relationships. On top of the fact that when students get into monogamous relationships, they are obviously, that's a legal binding relationship as well, and we want to be sure that students are having healthy relationships where, they're not becoming involved in domestic violence and things of that sort. Something else, what defines a legal relationship that students have with administrators? The biggest legal relationship that students have with administrators is the fact that once a student comes into an institution, the parental and supervisorial position is now placed upon that administration, because students come to institutions, schools, where they can be safe, where they can learn, where they can grow. And so therefore, the administrator then therefore takes that role, the parenting role, the advisory role. And when we do take these roles, we want students to be able to trust us and be able to open up to us about the things that they need, especially in a student affairs profession, because this area is where this student is trying to figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life. So building that trust and understanding that this is kind of like a parental role is very important when it comes to this profession. Another responsibility of the students' affairs when working with student files is just to make sure that you are allowing privacy. The FERPA Act is something that has been set in place for students as well as teachers, so that records and other information is kept, in privacy. FERPA allows for parents to access records, and it also allows for records not to just be given out to anybody. Another thing about that, when it comes to students' records, it's important that as educators and different things of the sort, that these records are being maintained and that they're being maintained with accuracy. Because due to the laws, it's important that these records are current and that they're accurate. Finally, the last thing I wanted to go over was student-focused regulations that govern responsibilities for students' affairs. This is going to be making sure that students are learning, that they're engaged, being able to have people out there who are able to get these students engaged. In addition, helping students develop coherent values and ethics and standards. It's important for the community to be set up with high expectations for the student learning environment, and it's very, very important for this environment to be safe. Something very important to do is to build supportive and inclusive communities so that students have places to go when they feel that they don't understand, or when they need to have a better understanding of different laws that are out there. But for the most part, it's just very important that us as student affairs professionals teach students the laws that surround them when it comes to higher education. Because if students know the laws and if we educate them on the laws, then this will alleviate a lot of problems, and it'll help students in the direction of success without all of the extra. I appreciate you listening to my spill on student affairs professional and some of the laws and legalities that students and teachers have. I hope that you enjoyed, and thank you.